VR is expensive, and with the average headset costing roughly $600, it's easy to see why. But this could all be about to change, with Meta potentially taking a return to form. If you remember, the formerly Oculus line used to look like this. The Go for the low range, Quest for the mid, and the Rift for the PC VR. And now, thanks to a few leaks, it looks like we could be getting a low, mid and high tier headsets, according to Meta's VP. But that's not all, as we have some further Meta Quest 3 information about the technical specifications and accessories. So strap in whilst we explore even more leaks about the Meta Quest lineup. So if you remember, a few months ago, there was a significant amount of backlash when it was rumoured that the Quest Pro was ceasing production. And to be honest, it was for a good reason. The marketing was terrible, and the headset was unsure what or who the target audience was for. And this has now led to the suppliers stopping production of the parts necessary for the Pro. While Bosworth denies any final decisions have been made for the Pro, he did suggest that there is potential for a Meta Quest Pro 2. But since then, the landscape has changed with the announcement of Apple's new Vision Pro. If Apple are good at one thing, then that's advertisement. It's a premium device aimed at general consumers, so it may be the kickstart Meta needs to make a competitive headset in that domain, because the Pro as it is today is essentially a watered down Vision Pro with less processing power and less clarity. But one thing that has been confirmed by Meta's VP Mark Rabkin is that there will be a Meta Quest Lite coming in late 2024. And for most of this would probably be a preferential headset to the Meta Quest 3, and here is why. To start, the headset costs just $200 according to the reports, and that puts it at less than half of the Quest 3. It won't feature the advancements in pass-through we will see from the Quest 3, as it will focus purely on the VR experience, and this for most is essentially what we want from our headsets anyway. I don't feel like anyone is actually asking for augmented reality. It's just something Meta wants to push to help develop the technology, as glasses are their end goal here, as the same as Apple. This is also a good sign for further support with older headsets such as the Quest 2, as the reason the Quest 1 support was stopped was due to limited processing power. The Quest Lite will reportedly feature a more powerful chipset than the Quest 2, potentially the same as the Quest 3. The main question I would have is, will it feature pancake lenses or Fresnel? As once you make the switch to pancake lenses, it's hard to go back due to the increase in clarity. This is definitely the direction John Carmack would have wanted, to get VR in as many hands as possible. It's just a slight shame that the focus isn't purely on VR anymore, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for. I'd love Meta to truly commit to a high-end VR device with native PC capabilities, a higher field of view, and better resolution. But this is becoming a pipe dream at this point. Now onto the Quest 3. We are only a few weeks away from the Meta Connect event, and leading up to this has been a ton of leaked information over the past few months, as expected. Now initially it's bad news for those who own the majority of the Quest 2 accessories. As you can see, the head strap is a different size compared to the Quest 3. Now I guess this was slightly obvious, as the Type-C port is located on the head strap itself, but now the manufacturers have hands on, we finally have that confirmed. I have been in touch with several third-party companies that are making accessories for the Quest 3, so there definitely won't be a shortage in that department, but there has also been some further information about official Quest accessories coming from Meta themselves. Shown on screen now is an Elite battery strap, Quest carrying case which looks exactly like the Quest 2 carrying case, a silicone interface, and a Quest 3 charging dock. In the most recent Quest unboxing leak, you could see the pins for the charging dock, but it does make you wonder about the controllers. As they use AA batteries, they could potentially use some sort of wireless charging, as similar to the Quest 2 controllers. I can't imagine them drawing much power, but we will find out soon enough. Another thing you can see is the 512GB version for €699. Now I'm sure everyone is in the same camp here when it comes to charging an extra $100 or $200 for slightly extra storage that we know cost a fraction of that price. But you'll see why this isn't a bad deal in a second. We also get a leaked insight into actual specs of the Quest 3, and not just speculation. As the Quest is preparing for launch, a few listings have been leaked here and there, giving us that release date of October 10th, and the specs as followed. Resolution: an LCD panel at 2064 by 2208 per eye. refresh rate 120Hz, and I hope this is a consistent 120Hz across all games and experiences, as it really is unparalleled to 90Hz. Processor is the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 with 12GB of RAM. Field of view is just under 100 degrees, which is similar to the Quest 2. IPD adjustment seems to be hardware based, but it does feature eye relief, so we may be able to increase the field of view slightly if you don't mind the lenses touching your eyelashes. A total weight of 509 grams, which is essentially the same as the Quest 2, and a 128GB model and a 512, which, considering what I said earlier, is actually quite an unusual jump. And last is the obvious full colour pass-through with depth sensor. So the specs were something we all expected. The Quest 3 will be an incredibly powerful headset, and for me personally, I'm really excited to get my hands on it. The only question I have left is, what will you get? 128GB or 512? Or are you just keeping the Quest 2? And are you interested in any of the accessories for the Quest 3? Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like and subscribe. And always, I'll catch you on the next one.